Amerae Vercueil is a food stylist, private chef and health and fitness guru who, like so many other South Africans, found herself out of work as the COVID-19 pandemic locked down the country in the year 2020. So as a result, Amerae focused her energy and skills into cooking and capturing content that eventually turned into a complete e-cookbook. Fast forward to today, her plant-based recipes have been compiled and published into a cookbook titled Food That Loves You Back. To tell us more about this and about being part of the exclusive book's Tasty Reads Mzansi-Made promotion in August, Amerae joins us now via Zoom. Amerae, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you for welcoming me.
Tell us more about how the lockdown affected you and your career as a food stylist, private chef and health and fitness guru.
My work as a food stylist was totally dependent on clients coming in from international borders. So when lockdown hit, I was left with nothing, and a dream of mine was always to create a cookbook. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, now I've got nothing to lose. I might as well jump in and just write about what I love eating most.
Let's talk about your book then, Food That Loves You Back. Tell us more about the recipes that are in this book.
The recipes have a beautiful story. I was a model for 10 years, and it was almost as if food was the enemy to me. So it was a journey through working through food and seeing that it can actually love me back. So the recipes are really recipes that make me feel very good about eating and moving around and working it into my lifestyle. So it's really what I eat on a daily basis.
And I see that most of the dishes that you share in this book are plant-based, and you say that plant-based eating is more than just putting vegetables on the table. Tell us more about what you mean by this.
That's where the food stylist part comes in. Food on a plate is not just simply, cooking, roasting vegetables with your meat and your rice. It's really about making it a rainbow full of colors. So that's where I really wanted to show people that what you visually put in front of your plate can be so enticing, and it's where it starts. Is once it's on your plate and it looks beautiful, eating vegetables can really be fun and enjoyable.
It can be. Now take us through some of the flavors and the textures experimented. That you experimented with to come up with these tasty and nourishing dishes.
It really started with sort of writing a cookbook for friends and family. So it started with all the fundamentals, how you cook each vegetable. So how I would cook a cauliflower, how I would cook a butternut, and then sort of working on that. So it's all the basis, and my top favorite is roasting it with a slight char, making it crispy. And then working on adding textures and crunch and creaminess to each dish. So it starts with the fundamentals, and then you can really build on that and add color to it. So it's really something for anyone to start with, because it starts with all your fundamentals.
And there are a lot of vegetables on the market that can be used for plant-based eating. But what are some of the ingredients that you can't really live without? Absolutely.
Eggplant is one of my top favorites. And then I always say, I can't say much about meat, but you can ask me anything about beans. So this cookbook has loads of legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas in them. So I have my colorful vegetables in there, and then I top that with something protein rich. So any sort of legume I love chatting about or working with on a daily basis.
So what are some of the creative ways that we could use some of these legumes to make a meal more attractive and good for the soul?
With legumes, I always say soak them overnight. So that's the best for your digestive system to absorb them the next day. So once they've soaked overnight and you cook them the next day, you can sort of start from there. You can cook them, you can even roast them. One of my favorite recipes is using a wrap and filling that with sort of a spicy lentil mixture and rolling that up and serving it with beautiful vegetables. It's beautiful and it's very protein rich.
Sure, that wrap. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try that one out. Now, talk us through the concept of meat-free Mondays and some of the benefits of adopting this lifestyle.
The book is really about how I eat. I included 2 meat recipes in the book because I didn't want to lock anyone out of the book. You don't need to be plant-based or vegan to cook out of the book. So I eat 98% plant-based on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, but now and then you have to have a balanced lifestyle. So I just want people not to move away from eating meat, but really just look more into the lifestyle of how delicious vegetables are and how great they make you feel.
Now, Amerae, when people go through this book, what kind of dishes are they going to be surprised by the most?
I have a vegetable Wellington in there, which is delicious. It has some beautiful texture to it, and it's totally filled with some nuts and roasted vegetables. So I think they would be very surprised by that. And then also a few baking items. I make a olive oil chocolate cake, which makes me feel amazing, even though I've had a very guilty pleasure chocolate cake. So there's a few interesting things that you wouldn't normally think of, but it makes you think that, wow, all of these ingredients in here are very simple and they are generally quite good for yourself.
I can tell that you're not really a fan of meat. Would you call yourself a vegetarian?
I wouldn't, no. I come from a meat-eating family, but as a child, I would push away the meat and want the vegetables and legumes. So I do welcome anyone to try this book. That's why I wanted to include a bit of meat, because we're not working away from meat. We're just telling or showing people how beautiful vegetables and how center vegetables can be to your dinner table.
Okay, so you do have meat recipes, isn't it?
I included 2 because I want to include everyone to it.
Okay, and what is that? What is that vegetable that you can't really do without?
Definitely butternut. I think that's a South African favorite.
Okay.
Is slowly roasted butternut. And I included all the sort of South African inspired dishes like your pumpkin cakes and your pumpkin tart. So I wanted to buy all our South African favorites and just make it slightly better for you.
Okay. Amerae, great chatting to you. How do your fans connect with you?
Through Instagram and Facebook.
What are your handles?
It's food.lovesyouback at Instagram and also Facebook.
All right. Amerae, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. So that was food stylist, private chef and health and fitness guru Amerae Vercueil, and she's been speaking to us about recipes she developed during the lockdown for her cookbook titled Food That Loves You Back.